Long before the great civilizations of Egypt, Greece, and Rome left their mark on history, a remarkable culture thrived in the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This was the world of the Sumerians, a people who built cities from marshland, created the first written language, and shaped laws that influenced countless societies to come. Yet alongside their achievements lies a complex web of myths and divine figures whose true nature remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. The story of the Sumerian gods is not only about worship and belief, but also about control, ambition, and the possibility that these deities were more than the creations of human imagination. The earliest known Sumerian settlements began as modest clusters of reed huts along the riverbanks. Over generations, these grew into cities with monumental temples, complex irrigation systems, and bustling marketplaces. By around 4500 BCE, cities such as Uruk, and Eridu had risen with monumental ziggurats that reached toward the skies. Kings ruled with the support of priests who claimed to speak for the gods, ensuring their authority rested on both political and divine foundations. In this tightly woven social order, religion was not separate from governance. It was the foundation upon which every decision was made. The Sumerian pantheon was vast, filled with powerful beings whose stories shaped the way people understood their world. Anu was the ruler of the heavens, Enlil commanded the winds and storms, and Enki guarded knowledge and the deep waters. Ninhursag, the mother goddess, was seen as the creator of life. Each deity had temples, massive stepped structures built from sun-baked bricks that dominated the skyline. These ziggurats were designed to bridge the earthly realm and the divine, a staircase to the heavens where priests performed rituals meant to keep the gods content. Ancient records etched in cuneiform on clay tablets describe encounters with the gods in vivid and sometimes unsettling detail. Certain texts speak of beings descending from the sky in boats that roared like dragons, leaving trails of fire and smoke. Others tell of tools so powerful they could flatten mountains or heal a mortally wounded man with a single touch. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest surviving works of literature, recounts the gods' power to grant or deny immortality, and their possession of knowledge that mortals were forbidden to have. While many historians interpret these accounts as symbolic, others believe they may hint at real events, possibly involving beings far beyond the understanding of the time. The Sumerian king list is one of the most perplexing artifacts to emerge from this civilization. This ancient record claims that before a great flood swept the land, certain kings ruled for thousands of years. Such reign lengths defy all logic. Yet the Sumerians were precise in recording commercial transactions, land ownership, and harvest yields. This raises a troubling question. Why would such a meticulous society insert implausible timelines into what appears to be a historical record? The flood itself mirrors stories found across the world, from the biblical tale of Noah to the myths of Mesoamerica, suggesting a shared memory of a catastrophic event. Life in the cities revolved around the temples. Priests and priestesses acted not only as spiritual leaders, but also as administrators of vast agricultural estates. They coordinated planting seasons, managed storehouses, and oversaw trade with distant lands. For ordinary citizens, the gods were an ever-present influence. A season of abundance was seen as a sign of divine favor, while a poor harvest could mean the gods were displeased. Disease outbreaks or sudden storms were interpreted as warnings, urging the community to offer richer sacrifices or more elaborate ceremonies. Hidden beneath this devotion may have been an unspoken truth. In surrendering to the will of the gods, the people also surrendered a measure of their own freedom. Archaeological discoveries have uncovered signs of abrupt and unexplained changes in Sumerian life. Entire districts in once thriving cities appear to have been abandoned without signs of battle or destruction. In some places, temples were dismantled and rebuilt in a different style, often over the ruins of earlier sacred sites. Inscriptions from these periods speak of gods who turned their gaze away or brought down the mountain upon those who defied them. To some, these are poetic descriptions of natural disasters. To others, they hint at deliberate acts of destruction, whether by human hands or something else entirely. The legendary rivalry between Enlil and Enki, for example, may have masked political rivalries between factions vying for control. The most captivating and controversial aspect of Sumerian mythology is the story of the Anunnaki. Often translated as those who came from the heavens to earth, the Anunnaki are described as powerful beings who bestowed the gifts of civilization upon humanity. They taught farming techniques, established laws, and introduced the skills of metalworking and architecture. Modern interpretations vary widely. Mainstream scholarship views them as personifications of natural forces or cultural ideals. But fringe theories suggest they could have been actual visitors from beyond the earth. While such ideas remain speculative, the Sumerians' detailed astronomical knowledge continues to puzzle scientists. They charted the movements of planets invisible to the naked eye, calculated celestial cycles with remarkable accuracy, and even recorded the existence of a distant planet that some researchers claim matches the description of a yet unconfirmed celestial body. The most captivating and controversial aspect of Sumerian mythology is the story of the Anunnaki. Often translated as those who came from the heavens to earth, the Anunnaki are described as powerful beings who bestowed the gifts of civilization upon humanity. They taught farming techniques, established laws, and introduced the skills of metalworking and architecture. Modern interpretations vary widely. Mainstream scholarship views them as personifications of natural forces or cultural ideals. But fringe theories suggest they could have been actual visitors from beyond the earth. While such ideas remain speculative, the Sumerians' detailed astronomical knowledge continues to puzzle scientists. They charted the movements of planets invisible to the naked eye, calculated celestial cycles with remarkable accuracy, and even recorded the existence of a distant planet that some researchers claim matches the description of a yet unconfirmed celestial body. Trade and diplomacy extended Sumer's influence far beyond Mesopotamia. Merchants traveled to regions rich in copper, tin, and precious stones, bringing back not only goods, but also stories of distant peoples and strange customs. Through these exchanges, Sumerian myths spread and evolved, absorbing elements from neighboring cultures while leaving their own imprint in return. As the centuries passed, however, the balance of power began to shift. Droughts, invasions, and internal conflicts weakened the once mighty city-states, leaving them vulnerable to conquest. By around 2000 BCE, the Sumerian civilization had been absorbed into the Akkadian, Babylonian, and Assyrian empires. Yet the gods of Sumer lived on, their names and stories adapted into new forms. The flood narrative found its way into the Hebrew Bible. The rivalries of divine siblings echoed in Greek myths, and the image of gods walking among mortals inspired legends from Mesoamerica to the islands of the Pacific. Over time, the original meanings of these tales became clouded, layered over with centuries of reinterpretation and adaptation. Recent excavations in southern Iraq have yielded thousands of new cuneiform tablets, many of which remain untranslated. Each tablet holds the potential to reshape our understanding of Sumerian belief and the nature of their gods. Some depict figures wearing helmets with intricate designs, while others feature detailed star charts that align with constellations still recognized today. These findings raise questions that remain unanswered. How did a Bronze Age culture develop such knowledge without advanced technology? Were these the result of careful observation alone, or did the Sumerians inherit their knowledge from a source they considered divine? The allure of the Sumerian gods lies not only in their mystery, but also in what they represent about humanity's search for meaning. Across cultures and eras, people have sought to explain the unknown through stories of beings greater than themselves. In Sumer, those stories were etched into clay with a precision that still commands respect. Whether the gods were real, symbolic, or a blend of both, their presence shaped the destiny of an entire civilization and left a legacy that continues to inspire debate. Perhaps the hidden truth about the Sumerian gods is less about their origins and more about their enduring power to captivate the human imagination. The line between history and legend is thin, and in the case of Sumer, it may be impossible to draw. What remains certain is that these ancient people, with their towering temples and intricate myths, succeeded in creating a vision of the world that still echoes through the corridors of time.